Right now, entire cities across the Middle East are burning. Neighborhoods are reduced to concrete dust, and families are buried under the rubble of their own homes, while nations in the West sit safely across oceans, entirely untouched by the violence. We are told that international institutions exist to stop this suffering. Yet inside the UN Security Council, a single raised hand, a veto from a major power, routinely blocks global consensus, allowing genocides and invasions to proceed unchecked by international law. While the violence escalates, these same leaders gather at economic summits. Behind closed doors, trade alliances are structured, and funds are allocated in ways that actively finance the military-industrial complex and destabilize entire regions for geopolitical gain. To understand how a few nations acquired this level of supreme authority, we have to look back to the end of World War II. In August 1945, the atomic bombings of Japan signaled a shift in the nature of power. By executing hundreds of thousands of civilians instantly, the United States claimed an untouchable status that reset the global hierarchy. This military supremacy was immediately translated into financial dominance. By designing the post-war banking institutions and making their own currency the world's reserve, these victors gained the leverage to crash foreign markets or install puppet regimes with the stroke of a pen. At Afkar Wardu, we interrogate the structural origins of these crises. We investigate the history that global leaders ignore to find the ultimate systemic solutions to the problems facing our world. When you look at the gridlock, the economic disparity, and the endless wars, the reality becomes clear. Our current global order is not failing, it is functioning exactly as it was designed, as a highly evolved mechanism for human subjugation. Humanity's original mandate on Earth was meant to be stewardship and justice, but early rulers like Nimrod rejected that. They built massive, oppressive empires, specifically designed to extract labor from the masses and hoard absolute power for a tiny elite. Throughout history, divine interventions arrived to break these systems. Abraham challenged the absolute authority of false kings. Joseph restructured a dying economy to save millions from famine. Moses dismantled the delusions of Pharaoh's empire, and Jesus brought spiritual healing to a rigidly corrupt society. Yet the cycle continued. Societies repeatedly reverted to building massive nationalistic machines, like the Roman Empire, concentrating wealth and power while treating human lives as disposable fuel for their machinery of subjugation. Then came Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He brought the Quran, providing a complete manual for human societal organization, a blueprint intentionally designed to cure this endless cycle of tyranny and resource hoarding. This schematic details the Madinah model. Instead of a palace, the Prophet established a central community hub. As seen on the left, it functioned as a parliament, courthouse, and university. On the right, the brotherhood concept integrated locals with displaced migrants. This timeline maps the life cycle of civilizations, showing the Islamic Golden Age on the far right. By implementing this specific, decentralized model, the society shattered the global monopolies of Persia and Rome, launching a massive wave of scientific discovery, medicine, and global trade. True historical progress and human emancipation only occurred when society organized around decentralized justice and a shared purpose, completely rejecting the model of top-down subjugation. But the Muslim world eventually abandoned the Madinah model. They shifted back toward dynastic kingship and hoarded wealth. This internal decay left their societies fractured and weak, eventually allowing them to be decimated by brute force invaders like the Mongols. Later, European empires like the British colonized the world through a combination of superior weaponry, long-term strategic planning, and the weaponization of international trade. This map illustrates the resulting global order. The victors designed an economic system based entirely on extraction, pulling raw materials and labor from the global south directly into the financial vaults of a few elite nations. As detailed under financial weaponization, they maintain this control today. Occupying armies are rarely needed when you can bind a developing nation through inescapable debt, crippling sanctions, and heavily manipulated markets. To ensure this colonial machine ran smoothly, they deployed their most devastating weapon, the modern education system. It was meticulously structured to strip away critical thinking, mass-producing obedient employees who would manage the extraction of their own country's wealth. They also injected the artificial poison of nationalism into the Muslim world. By drawing arbitrary lines on a map, they permanently divided a once unified people into manageable, competing factions. Their systematic slavery ultimately succeeded by shrinking the definition of religion. The vast, comprehensive lifestyle of Islam, a total blueprint for economics, law, and welfare, was confined into mere personal rituals, performed quietly in small, isolated mosques. To break free from this modern, malware-infected operating system, humanity has to stop playing by the rules of colonial administrative slavery. We must reject these artificial paradigms and rebuild our communities using the ultimate decentralized blueprint, the model of Masjid-e-Nabawi.